parenting is one of the best gifts that you can get in the world, whether it's parenting children, parenting pets, whatever. Um, it used to be seen as a requirement. Stop me if you heard this one before. Uh, you'll go to school, you'll get a good job, you'll get married, you'll have kids, you'll retire, you'll die. Um, it seems kind of blah. It seems kind of like a mood killer, doesn't it? To think that that's how you expectedly have to live your life. Um, I think we evolved to a level of parenting that's crucial to our species, our bodies, our minds, and our spirits. And what I mean is that we're reaching an age of more awareness in our own parenting, more mindful parenting. I used to think of it as a negative crutch. I grew up in a strict yet very understanding family. So certain things going into my adulthood, I didn't think were acceptable for kids to do. Like I don't mean crying or anything like that, but I mean like certain ways that kids act, certain ways that kids behave. I always just thought, they need to learn to listen. They need to learn to be attentive and, be disciplined. I don't disagree with that thought process at all, but I do see it in a different light now that I'm the parent of three children, and they've each presented their own challenges to me. One's very empathetic and very anxious all the time, incredibly smart. We're looking for an advanced program for him, and he's 5 years old. Another one, he's very strong-willed. He's very determined. He's the most stubborn child I've ever met in my life, and I've helped raise a lot of kids. My youngest is only a year old, and I'm sure she's going to present with a whole new world of different things. I'm happy for it because any challenges that we face, they introduced a new aspect of parenting to me, and not a new aspect, but a new way to think about certain things. And it's tying it to the way that my parents used to, and helping me understand where they came from more, helping me understand what I don't want to present to my kids in order to progress as a species, as a family, as human beings. A lot of us get held up on this thought that I was raised by a belt, or I was raised in a very strict environment, or whatever, so that we have to pass that on to our kids to get the same results for the people that we are. I don't want my kids to be the people that I am. I want my kids to be better than who I am. I want my kids to reach their true potential in whatever that means for them. I read an article in the New York Times, I'll link it in the show notes, that says that suggests that parenting has become more demanding these days than it ever has been. And I don't really think that's true. In some ways it might be, but I don't really think that's true in the overall 300-foot view of it. As when we first started out as a species, our intent was to reproduce, to breed, to advance to the next generation, to protect our generation, our family, and survive. And I think it's still the same now, only, like I said, we're doing it with more mindfulness and more awareness. We evolved into what we are now, which is also presenting a new world of problems. Before, we were protecting our family and running from animals and hunting and doing all this other stuff, building each of our own houses and whatever, and establishing, a sense of community. And now we're doing it on a worldwide scale, which to us will probably feel like it did when they were doing that stuff back then. The newer problems that we face are like secrecy and privacy and things like that. And not just in the tech realm, but with the resources that kids have to get exposed to different things. We don't always know that the source is there unless we're sitting right on top of them, watching what they're watching, texting what they're texting, reading what they're reading, And I just think it makes I think it forces us in a good way to really boost our level of parenting, our level of involvement. And there's no excuse for not parenting the right way anymore. And by the right way, I don't mean one particular way. I mean, giving yourself to your kids, giving your all to them, giving what you can to them. And, not just ignoring them and letting them kind of grow up on their own terms. Yes, a little bit, but not fully, I'm not talking about being a video game parent or anything like that. I'm not talking about being a video game parent or sitting them in front of the TV or anything. Active, mindful parenting. That's the new challenge that faces us. But where I mean it's similar is, like I said before, I feel like the way we think about things and the way we understand things now is so fast and so advanced that it's almost easier for us to do it now. When it would have been a no-brainer for us before, some of the things that we do with our kids, or some of the things we do to teach our kids, to work with our kids, teach them health, teach them cooking, some of that stuff is the same as before. Like before there was technology and all this other stuff, when we were cavemen, we were learning how to cook and survive. We're doing the same thing now, just in some cases on different terms. And I think it's a blessing. I think it shows how far we've come, but yet we're still respecting our roots as a species. And I think that's very important. And I know all family structures are different. I know that there's all different family makeups and different walks of life that everybody comes from. And I think either way, the goal is still the same: to have your kids grow up better, smarter, wiser, and really to understand their own potential. I think that's one of the biggest keys, without an ego, without, with just being mindful about their life and their things around them, their possibilities, the ways that they can grow and advance, and not hold them back. I see my kids sitting by the TV and just melting away into the screen, and it's something I don't like. And I'm not judging anybody that feels like they have to do that. I'm not judging anybody that does that permanent, most of the time. I'm saying it's not good. They need to live. They need to experience things. They need to talk to you so that they can grow past the point that you made. I think the biggest thing about is not to judge other people that you're being too protective, or you're being too helicopter, or you're being not protective enough. You don't seem to care. In some cases, I'm talking about very, very big extremes that can be a problem. But for the most part, the goal remains the same as it always have: protect, survive, advance, grow, show love, lead by example, be with them, live with them, experience life together, not distracted. Not distracted. And that's one thing I've really tried to incorporate in my parenting. I want to be on my phone less. I want to be playing less video games, watching less TV. I want to live life with my kids. Yes, I need my time away, and I need, them to just go and play in their room, or go outside and play or whatever. But I also want to be there. I want to be there to experience everything that people, like I said in a previous episode, I've seen a lot of death and remorse and regret. And I don't want to say that I'll ever have that in my life with my kids. The only thing I ever want to regret is just not having more time. To sum this episode up, I like Agent K's take on what he said in Men in Black. We have grown as parents. We understand what rests on our shoulders now as compared to what used to rest on our shoulders. We have the ability to grow past our own mindset. And that's an amazing thing, because you learn something new every single day, whether it's with parenting or something else that you thought you knew in life. And what Agent K from Men in Black said was, quote unquote, "I wonder what we'll know tomorrow." If you guys need help with any of this, need some tips and tricks, nutrition, recipes that can help you with kid life in any way, let me know. Get in touch with me. Leave a comment. If you know somebody who can get something out of these episodes, please share it with them. And let's get in touch, guys. Let's talk about it. Any imbalances in your life, I can come up with a structured program to help you address those balances. Guys, have a good day.